Well, they always say if you don't like Michigan's weather, wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
It's
Really?
true. Especially when you live by the lake.
Well, I got a notification that city council is live on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Good.
There we are.
Wow, you're really up and running early tonight, Jim.
Yeah.
You know, I decided to do everything ahead of time that I had to do last time. And
Cool.
I think it worked.
Yeah, it's up and running now.
All right. Figure we'll tread water for the world to see, but it's better than getting a
Yeah.
late start.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run down and make sure she's got it on downstairs and she wanted to watch it, so I'll make sure we're good.
All right.
It is riveting stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
reality
yes.
TV at its finest.
Yeah. Only we don't create all fake drama. All our drama is real.
Yeah.
This is water. It's not vodka, just for the record.
Okay.
Dang it.
It is that hour. I mean, it would be okay. But...
We picked up a buzz noise at last meeting and I'm not sure where it came from.
There's a little thing above your picture and it says Jim Gardner's bandwidth is low. I don't know what that means.
Wow.
That's something I can't control right now.
Wow, I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, that's Charter or Spectrum.
Oh, maybe that's just something here at the city. I don't know, at the hall.
No, I had a message pop up that my internet is a little bit unstable. So hopefully, if I just freeze up in a meeting, just tread water and I'll try to join back in.
I heard that Rich Russell is not well.
Yeah, that's what I heard today.
I just heard it a little while ago that he was in the hospital or is in the hospital or is going to rehab or something. Do you know that, Jolene?
Yes, that's what Bernie said today. He had a little reaction from his medicine that he was taking.
Yeah, we have to be careful with details.
This is on YouTube right now, guys.
Yep.
Okay. We won't say anymore. I just meant I heard he wasn't going to be.
Right. Yep. He's not going to be here tonight.
All right.
Somebody logged on his iPad. I'm not sure who that is. Is that Stacy?
That could be Stacy.
Yeah, this is Stacy. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yep.
can, Stacy.
Okay.
There.
No, you gotta go. Go.
Councilman Wakeman. And I see John's iPad.
John Zarb.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Mike.
Oh, hello, John.
I'm here too.
It's the videos on.
Oh, okay.
Hi,
Is that Connie
Connie.
joining?
Hello.
Hello.
I'll remind everyone we are live. When we get closer to the start time, I'll record the file also.
Well, there's Stacy. You're looking good, Stacy.
Hi, Dawn. Thank you. I'm feeling good too.
Good.
I saw you last week walking.
Yeah, I'm having a hard, still not walking very fast, but
You don't
But it's
need to break
getting
any records.
it's getting there.
Good.
Faster than last week. And
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. I kind of walk a crooked line. If they ever pull me over, I'll never pass the DUI test. I can tell you that.
I like that hat. That's a nice looking hat.
That's a new Mason Eagles hat.
I see that.
Yeah.
Did you get a Mason Eagle mask?
No, I didn't get a mask. All I got was the hat. That was a birthday present.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, when you got all the kids going over there, that's what you get for birthday. You get Mason shirts, Mason hats, all that
Yeah.
good stuff. That's all right. It's nice looking stuff. It's the right colors for you. I know that. They're
it
not
is.
Yeah.
They're not red and gray, but
Wow.
I guess I
Yeah.
can wear some blue and gold for a while.
Only on Fridays and basketball games.
I'm hoping we get to go to basketball games.
I know.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
our granddaughter plays volleyball, and they only allow 2 or 3 people in to the games. And Patty's gone to a couple of them. And then I go to Tyler's soccer games. He's got some soccer games, but they're outside. So, but yeah, Patty, they give them 2 tickets. I think 2 or 3 tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually paid for it so we can watch it at home. And you
Oh,
can
that's
watch
right. You
you
get it
can
on
watch
YouTube,
all
right?
of the home games.
I'm gonna have to get that because their football team's doing really, really well.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time. I think we'll call the meeting to order. I'll start sharing my screen here and we'll get started.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to the City Council meeting, October 22nd, 2020. Get a little bit of the housekeeping done here. The meeting will be live streamed on the City of Lapeer YouTube channel. Meetings will be recorded and recordings will be available at Lapeer City Hall and on our website. The minutes will be posted when they are approved. As always, we ask you to mute your mic if you're not talking, and give everybody a chance. We want to, if you have something to say, be sure and unmute and tell us, because this is we want everyone to participate. At the public comment time, we will be taking calls at 734-848-6495 to give the public a chance to weigh in and give your public comment. We have a couple of changes I'll get into a little bit later, very minor changes that are the result of the recent legislation passed that allows us to have open meetings until December 31st, or have our online meetings until December 31st. At this time, I'm going to ask Stacy Grimes to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Grimes.
I pledge allegiance to
Allegiance
the
to the
flag
flag of the
of the
United
United
States
States of America and to the
and to the
republic
republic for which
stands,
it stands,
And
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible, with
with
liberty and justice for all.
thank you, Councilman Grimes.
Yes, sir.
Now, one of the changes we have to do is that when we give our roll call, to have an online meeting, you have to be in the area. You can't call in from Florida or from a remote location on vacation somewhere. To be more like a regular in-person meeting, you need to be in the area. So what we're going to ask is that you verify your location. Just city of Luna Pier is fine, or in Luna Pier is fine, that just to show that you are within driving distance and in the area as you would be during a in-person meeting. Jolene, can you?
Samsa,
I'm here in Luna Pier.
Grimes,
Here, in Luna Pier.
Meadows,
Do we have Jeff Meadows?
I'm here, Luna Pier.
Wakeman,
And I know we have a Wakeman here.
I'll say, I thought he
Yep.
was here.
Councilman Wakeman, are you muted? Yeah, we can't hear you. We can see you. And it looks like you're not muted, but we don't have a,
I know I froze up here during the pledge. So maybe this end of
Yeah, maybe.
town.
I think we'll,
You just go on.
yeah, we'll go on and
Okay.
we know he's here.
Ansted,
Here in Luna Pier.
Rich Russell is absent excused. Mayor Gardner,
Here from Luna Pier, Michigan. Thank you very much. There's one change to the agenda. I added an item G for the document that Jolene sent out about the power plan grant resolution. We'll get into that later. If you can add item G to your agenda, and we'll need a motion to accept. We'll start with a motion to approve for the benefit of, just as a reminder, we now separate the approval of the minutes and agenda. We separate that from the paying of the bill of warrants, because the bill of warrants really is, and the visa bill is cash related. So we need to do a roll call vote on that. But the minutes and the agenda, we can do all in favor. So
This
do I
is-
have a motion to
This is
approve?
Mike. I propose a motion to approve the consent agenda as well as the minutes of the October 8th, 2020 meeting as presented and waive the readings.
Or
Have a motion, I heard a support. Who was that from?
Stacy.
Stacy, okay. We have a motion, we have support. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. We'll move on to the bills of warrants, number 14045, and the visa payment. Do I have a motion?
This is Mike. I propose a motion to approve the bills of warrant number 14045 for $50,603 unpaid, as well as the Visa payment of $923.73.
This is Dawn. I will support that.
We have a motion and we have support. Any discussion? This will take a roll call vote.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
I hear Meadows talking. I can't. I mean,
Yes,
I see him
Okay.
talking. I can't hear him.
Wakeman.
yes,
Oh, there you are.
Great.
Anstett,
Yes.
Gramza,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried.
Mayor, I do have one thing.
What is it?
Under the, well, we lost it, but the numbers for the bills warrant were different on the two items.
Oh, you know what? That's my typo there. You're right. That's 14,045. How do we correct that? Did we?
I
That's
said
not-
16,
that's-
I said 14045 anyway.
Yeah,
So we
that's
just
how
got-
it was
Okay,
written.
okay. All right. That's my typo on my PowerPoint.
Okay.
I think we're good because we did pass the correct number. I apologize for that. That's a good catch. At this time, we have JD Davison. I'm going to give him the floor. I'll stop my screen share.
Thanks, Jim. I'm, I guess, mic check here to make sure everybody can see me. I'm on my phone, not a computer, so I'm not
We can hear
sure.
you.
I
Okay,
hear you loud and clear. Can't see you.
let me see if I can.
There we go.
Now we see you.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Slowly lagging. There we go. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, just wanted to come on and if I had an opportunity to give an update on where we're at. I'm sure people have seen some of the work going on over on the property. The foundation work is pretty much finished up. Still continuing to work on the planning with the consumers. We got a new easement to change where the power was going to come through. We had a hiccup there where the adjacent properties where it was originally going to go down the tree line between the doctor's office and the gas station there got subverted. So now it's the electrical utilities are going to come from Luna Pier Road down Madison Street along with the sanitary sewer and the water main. So that's one change. We've already worked with consumers to get that approved. It's paid for, signed off on, and they've got the engineering drawings for that already. So continuing to move forward. Just wanted to clarify a couple of things. I had heard that there were conversations about us not doing a grow operation on the property, and that's inaccurate. We've already built the building pad for the grow facility. That all the earthwork that was done over there was a few $100,000 worth of land moving that we did. That was to build up the pad for both the store and the first grow facility. We're still planning on doing that. We lost a partner because of some mistaken communications that were made while an appraisal was going on, but it only slowed us down. It seems like somebody tried to throw a monkey wrench into what we were doing by making some statements that were inaccurate to the appraiser that was a third party. But again, slowed us down, didn't stop anything. We've got a partnership with a group that's already got a state-of-the-art cultivation facility, and that is going to be used as the template for our cultivation facility as well. So they're up and running in Morenci now. Green Labs is our current partner. They are moving, they already have plants growing in their cultivation facility, and the plan is to have 4 total facilities, 2 in Morenci and 2 in Luna Pier. The one in Morenci is already open. The one in Luna Pier will be opened shortly after we open our retail store. So I just wanted to make sure everybody had an understanding that we were not stopping any of the planning for having cultivation facilities on the site. We're planning on having at a minimum of 2 large warehouses that are built right after the store is open. and then room for potentially 3 more large warehouses, either from us if demand requires it, and then also if any other interested parties would want to do a condo unit or a leased tenant unit for another facility on the property. So we're still continuing to go forward. Wanted to not ask the question, but throw it out there too, just so that everybody's aware as well. When we started this whole process, medical marijuana was the only consideration for the city. And then I know through some conversations, the ordinance was passed saying no recreational, because we wanted to avoid getting painted into a corner by the legislation that was passed to allow for recreational and let the city control it. But I just wanted to put it out there that if and when the city is pursuing allowing recreational licenses, I want to throw our hat in the ring, and we would very much like to participate. We've got a firm opening, like scheduled planned opening is really as soon as asphalt plants open back up in the spring. We're going to continue doing the construction that we're doing now. We're going to build through the winter as much as possible. Really, the only thing that's going to stop us from being able to open the doors is paving, because we're going to be into the past Thanksgiving when paving time would even be a consideration. And asphalt plants close around Thanksgiving and don't open again until the spring. That would be the only thing delaying us. We're shooting for a June opening date firm. And anything we can do to make that happen sooner, the better. Really, it's going to be as soon as we can get the asphalt is what we're thinking. The plan is for that. And then if the city, it's my understanding that the city is also entertaining the potential for multiple recreational licenses and stores. And if that is the case, I just want us to be considered for it. We will apply and we will do everything we can to kind of work with the city for that as well. But if that is something that the city is pursuing, I just want to make sure that there's an opportunity for us to participate, compete, whatever we can do to be involved in that if the city is going in that direction of having multiple stores. Yeah, and that is the current update for where we're at with our progress. You should still see continuing work happening over on the site. We did run into some delays mid-summer to late summer, but somewhat COVID related, somewhat losing a group that we were working with. We've gotten past all those obstacles, and now we're continuing to sally forth as much as we can. So any questions, I'm here to answer them. And if you hear kids screaming, I apologize.
I have a
JD,
question.
Oh.
Go ahead, Dawn, you go first.
I just wanted to clarify, what was the name of the company you're working with now?
Green Labs.
Okay.
Was he the guy that you said was the Warby Parker?
No, that was Pleasantries. So that Pleasantries was the company we were working with, and they were going to actually buy the property from my entity as part of the arrangement. So they were going to own the property and then lease it to the marijuana business. And that was going to be part of the arrangement. And they were doing their due diligence. And just to make sure everybody understands how this played out. In the course of an appraiser from a company called BBG, residential real estate company where they do appraisals, they contacted the city to get some information on the property as part of the appraisal. And through that process, somebody who is yet to be identified, when they were contacting the city, had made a statement that the license for our entity was in question or being investigated, which was completely false and erroneous and had nothing to do with anything that we were doing. And apparently it wasn't even somebody that worked for the city in an official capacity, but somebody made that statement to the appraiser. And the Pleasantries capital group that was going to invest in the property basically said, hey, what's going on here? We explained to them that it was inaccurate information, but they got a little bit of cold feet, and that's why we moved on to a new partner. But it was really some bad information was passed on to them from somebody yet to be identified. Then there's some people that are aware of how that happened or what that phone call was to City Hall, because the group that was doing the appraisal were actually from Colorado. But through that course of that conversation, somebody, I can only assume, intentionally threw a monkey wrench into what we were doing by giving false information about our license.
I can clarify, and I can absolutely verify the city was not contacted. It was not the City Hall. They did not call the City Hall. I gave everybody the third degree asking, and nobody was contacted. I was not contacted. Definitely was not. My phone number is out there, and I gave it to you, and I gave it to everybody else. But if information was put out there, it may have been somebody in the city, but it was not anybody at City Hall or any employee of the city or anybody that even serves on any board or any committee in the city. It did not come in an official capacity. It may have been somebody who claimed to represent somebody in the city, but not anybody affiliated with the city in any capacity.
I talked to Jim about this too. To me, it's water under the bridge. It didn't stop what we were doing. It just delayed it. But I can't change the past. We've moved on. We've got a strong partner that's the self-financed, not even using a secondary capital company. It's a self-financed business. It's a 100-year-old oil company that really is the backbone of the entity that we're working with. So I'm not concerned about it any longer, but it is, I told everybody when I came to the council meeting outdoors in the summer that I'm not here to make any excuses, but I want to explain how we got to where we are. And here we are. We're continuing to move forward, going to continue to move forward. Construction underway, good partnership. You'll see the progress continue, and just want to make sure we're still in consideration if the city is going to be doing recreational licenses and or multiple recreational licenses, that we can still participate.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's great news.
Thanks, Mike.
Yes, especially the timeline of springtime. That's what we need to know, and that's what we're hearing from the community. What's going on there? I mean, even pouring a foundation, they don't see that. They don't see, what's underground, and they make assumptions. And it's good to have some good, reliable information. I'm really glad you joined us tonight, JD.
No, thanks for the invite. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everybody.
Are there any other questions?
Nope.
Thank you very much, JD. We really appreciate you weighing in, and you have my number. Call anytime, and we want to make this happen.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
I will mute and hang back in the background.
Bye.
All right.
Hi, JD.
Okay, let's get back to our screen share there. Okay, moving on with the mayor's report. As you've seen in the news, COVID-19, 150,989 cases reported this morning total in Michigan, with 7,086 deaths. There are 1,597 new cases in Michigan. That is very troubling news. There were 20 new cases yesterday in Monroe County. That's getting very close. Please, everyone, remain diligent, mask up, set a safe example. We want to keep businesses open. We want to keep things going, and wearing a mask and keeping the distance is the way to do that. So I just want to encourage everyone to do the right thing. People are watching you, and you do have an influence. For trick-or-treating, I got a little bit of pushback, but really overall a positive response in keeping trick-or-treating, doing it from 6 to 7. It does pose a risk if not done correctly and without taking precautions to keep a distance. You don't want people standing in a doorstep, standing over kids, talking and tossing candy into their bag and breathing and spitting down on them unintentionally. That is just a dangerous situation. Be concerned for the safety of others, and please respect those who choose not to participate. There are people out there who cannot risk getting it. For health reasons or their exposure to people who are at high risk, they just can't take the chance, and please respect that. I encourage others to do so also. The time will be 6 to 7 on Saturday, October 31st, and the policy is subject to change. The closer it gets, the more solid it is. But this is a pandemic. Nobody on earth right now has ever lived through a pandemic like this. We are the only ones. Everyone that went through the last one in 1918 and can remember it is probably dead by now. So this is new territory, and pandemics usually take a couple of years to get through. We are so sick of this thing, but it is not tired of us, and it is still raging on. So I encourage everyone to take the lead and keep people safe, and we will get through this. Chief Ansel and Councilman Anstead, Councilwoman Gramza, they are evaluating our ordinances. They made some progress, and I think I talked to, I'll give them the floor right now to say where we are with that. And we did include cats too, so I'll let them explain. Dawn or Mike, do you want to take the floor?
I'll be happy to.
Mike, you want to go ahead?
Sure. We have had 2 meetings. Chief Ansel has done a great job of giving us some language from a number of different venues in Michigan and making some strong recommendations. The second time we met, we had each reviewed all of those, all the language in those. It was also discussed that the chief would be in touch with Phil Costello to make sure that whatever we put in to add to our town ordinances would be something that had, no pun intended, some teeth in it. It would be enforceable in some way. There'd be some method of adjudicating these charges. This all emanated out of an incident where a couple of 3 dogs got loose and caused an incident. I think everybody is probably aware of that. And as well as some ongoing complaints about feral cats being fed and expanding their populations to a point of nuisance. So basically, we're probably going to add about 3 paragraphs, one of them allowing the chief to declare an animal as a nuisance or a vicious animal. And if there's an incident that, and complaints from citizens that are observed then by the police chief where he can do that, then there would be some sort of a committee that included council members plus some council members, a small limited number, plus the police chief to offer a hearing if somebody wanted to contest that. All this would be to make sure that we don't just issue summonses and then have them not paid and no action takes place. But the one for the vicious dogs would require the owner to meet certain requirements. That would be to keep his or her dogs penned up in some sort of a structure and under control at all times. And with the cats, the same thing, the animals would have to be licensed as well. So we'll probably meet again within the next 10 days. We will have some input back from our attorney as well to make sure that what we do is enforceable within the legal jurisdiction, so that if we issue a summons for $250, that it gets paid, and that the dogs all need to be registered and vaccinated as well. You know, none of this is going to be easy, but I guess the other thing that we talked about, part of the language has to do with an owner not having more than 3 dogs, because it was deemed that was a sort of a number. 2 or 3 was the number in many of the towns. And once you get beyond that, you really almost have an inability to control those animals just because of the sheer numbers. So I think we've made some good progress. I think we need another meeting yet. And then what we have, we'll bring to council for reading and for approval of what it is that we're doing, discussion and approval. Anything I've missed there, Dawn, in your mind?
No, you covered it very well.
Okay, that's what we got.
Mike, I got a question if I may.
Yes.
Is there going to be any wording in there regarding containing cats? Do the cats have to be on leashes outside, or?
No, I don't.
Can
I
You
don't know
really
if you've
do?
ever had a cat, Jeff, but cats have small heads and they slip out of leashes.
And I don't think legally we can.
And cats cannot be licensed, but what we're really addressing is the people that are feeding the feral cats and allowing them to set out food out on their driveways, and which they're not only bringing in cats, they're bringing in other things too that are coming to feed in those dishes. So
That would
it's
seem like That would seem like a pretty simple ordinance in my mind, no outdoor feeding.
Right. That's basically what it is.
Right.
That's kind of it.
Okay. It'd be a good step, I guess.
We have to
Yep.
start somewhere.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, they're doing a great job. Really, I think it's really a lot of thought going into this and a lot of consideration for responsible pet owners also. So thank you, Dawn and Mike and Chief Ansel for the work they're putting into this. They're making some good progress. It's a very worthy
Thank you.
cause. It's something we need. It's a part of public safety. Okay, like I said, we really want to make it make an ordinance that works for responsible people and keeps people safe by addressing and enforcing safe animal ownership. The lighthouse work continues. We do have good news, and this is really a breakthrough that the rain we've had lately, everything has been dry up there. That is really hard to do with a building that was designed to leak in the first place. It seems the drywall installation is continuing now that we know it's not going to get ruined. We're trying to schedule the elevator installation. We're at the mercy of the company that installs them. We have notified them that we want them to start as soon as possible. We're kind of at their mercy, but we are on their radar and we have contacted them and told them to get that going. And we are progressing with the construction inside there, which the timing works out well if we can get it through this time when we can't occupy it anyway. It'll be good to make that progress, and that's what we're doing.
I'd like to comment that repair of the leaks, assuming it works, was done at a pretty reasonable price. According to the bills of warrant, it seemed like a nominal amount of money for bringing in lifts and all sorts of things.
Right. And the majority of that cost was that lift. Those things are just expensive.
Right.
There's no way around it. And I was really pleased with that. Being in the engineering community, something that was never made right in the first place can be very, very difficult because it was designed wrong. It was engineered to do exactly what it does, and that was engineered to leak because they didn't engineer it not to leak. And those things are hard to fix rather than just a one-off, something done wrong. This was just built wrong. So that is a huge step, and we are making progress. It's hard to see from the outside, but we are making progress. I talked to we've talked to two different vehicle charging companies. One clearly stands out. Councilman Wakeman and I attended an online meeting with Hague Automotive on Friday, and they really have their act together. They're in Detroit area. Actually, they're in downtown Detroit. So they're close by. They know the area. They're going to come in and do a walkthrough, look at the physical places, identify areas where charging will be viable. And they will work with consumers to see what it would take to get the infrastructure installed and see where it makes sense from a consumer standpoint, who manages the grants also. And so that area is moving along. Gagne Road, we have good news there. We did contract Monroe County Road Commission for $2,900 to do all the way up the approach and over to the Allen Cove Bridge with a repair that we're not able to do. It's like a spray fill type of thing where they use layers of gravel and tar and fill the areas in. It's the same thing they did all the way out to Kuzno Road on the west side. We just contacted them I wasn't hearing back from him for a long time. I was getting kind of disappointed. We actually got to the point of ordering the cold patch because it looks like that only option, which would probably get us about halfway through the winter before it was gone. Matt from the road commission called back and said, I talked to our people. The equipment hasn't been winterized yet. I talked to the board, got it approved that we can do the repair. He got the price together, which I thought was very reasonable. Dave Gouts was very, very pleased with it. He said that's a great price for what they're doing. It's a lot more stable repair than cold patch. I was very happy to hear that. They're going to start on it tomorrow morning, and we'll have it done within a day or two. So that was good news. For the long term, I am working with an engineering company who contacted us about possibly applying for Category B funding. It's a 50% match from MDOT on road work. That road has not been repaved in 50 years that I know of. I would like to long-term somehow run all the way out to Kuzno Road. That's a big wish. It would be a home run. It's what it would take, but we have to work on it. And this is just one way of seeking the funding. Maybe we can go to Erie Township and LaSalle. If we can bring a little more to the table, maybe they'll be willing to work with it. That's what it really needs. That would be like 2022 before any of that could even take place. But we have to look at the long-term solution to that problem. The road's not going to last forever. It's been 50 years with just cold patch and just spray patching and never really repaved, and it looks it. Any questions from the mayor's report? If not, we'll move into department reports. We didn't see for the fire department report or the building report. We had it at the last meeting. We have no old business. I guess we could back up to the FEP committee. There, you see the work ongoing, correct, Stacy?
Yeah, Mid-American has started work on the dike system itself. We had a special meeting last week. Their original quote came in at almost $15,000, $14,000 some odd dollars. We had already approved repairs up to $10,000. So the FEP committee decided to go an additional $10,000 or take it up to $20,000 in case they run into any other repairs that needed to be done. So they are authorized to go up to $20,000 right now. Like I say, we're looking at about 14.7, 14.8, but we anticipate there's probably going to be additional work that's going to be done. But they have started on it. They started down in Allen's Cove. And they'll be working their way all the way down through Harold Drive and then down on the south end of town also. So hopefully that'll all get done this fall yet. So before the weather, we need to get a couple nice west winds for them to where they can get in there and get a lot of the lower stuff that's damaged. So, but all in all, we're in pretty good shape. So good.
Thank you, Stacy. And we did paint mark every spot that we saw, and we were pretty picky with it. If it showed a crack or whatever, we went ahead and marked it for repair, and hopefully stay ahead of it, keep the city safe. Committee reports, we already covered the pet ordinance. New business. We have a lot to cover tonight with the health insurance for employees for 2020 and 2021. You saw several proposals there. The most favorable for the employees I talked to was to keep what they have with the existing, carry over the existing coverage and keep things stable. the things that are covered will continue to be covered. And I really received, I didn't talk to everybody, but we did get a positive response to just keeping what we have now and carrying it over. And there are some retirees that will drop off of that before the fiscal year is out. So we do have more than enough money budgeted towards that to give our employees good coverage. And that is really important. The Decker proposal for insurance coverage for Luna Pier. Decker Insurance has done a great job. Dustin came through. He talked extensively with each department head. We did a walk around looking at different things to make sure we have the best coverage. He made recommendations, personalized that, and said, you can save money here. The risk, is very low in this, and wrote it for things that we probably should cover to make, we have some new equipment. We should cover that equipment. And we ended up with a little bit more than last year, but a lot more coverage than we had last year because we have newer items to cover with the treatment plant upgrade mostly. So I was pretty happy with that proposal. The MERS plan addendum general, I don't like TP, I should say treatment plant and the police. That is something it's a standard thing we keep up on every year. It's pretty cut and dry there. Monroe County designated assessor interlocal agreement. That is something at a county level. It really doesn't affect us unless we fired our assessor or our assessor abandoned us. The state does not want any municipality to be without an assessor. And our assessor doesn't, our local assessors, even the other municipalities, they don't have the time to take up the slack if someone abandoned their post or they have to go in and rescue a municipality. They don't have the resources to do that. They are very much in favor of appointing a countywide assessor to intercede if something goes wrong in one of the municipalities. It won't affect us as long as we keep up with our end of our assessment, which we are. I think our assessor does a great job. If we fired our assessor or if we were trying to manipulate the prices in some way, then the county would step in. The designated assessor is paid for by the county, not by us. So they need, in order to make this official the way the state wants it, they need buy-in from every municipality in the county. So that's our part of that.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
does so you were saying basically if our assessor is either unable to fulfill their duties or abandons their duties or otherwise is terminated, is there a provision in there for if they're incapacitated for a while, this kicks in, or is it a cut and dry thing? It's either one or the other.
It would be a severe situation. I think a short-term incapacitated for a short term, I don't think would be a deal. What they're trying to address is blatant. There are places that don't have an assessor and due to whatever reason, maybe an assessor messed things up so bad and bailed, and that's happened. It's actually happened in our county. I've heard horror stories of that. In that case where it's a mess, you need an assessor to come in and clean up that mess. That's what it's designed to do, and that's the intention of the state.
Mayor, how does this affect us financially?
Really not at all. As long as we have an assessor who's doing a good job, then we're fine.
Well, I heard you use the term buy-in a little bit ago. I just kicked up a thought that maybe we had to pay to.
No, they just need our approval. The word I should have used is approval. they need the approval of all of the municipalities to agree that if they just totally mess things up and run it into the ground, that somebody has to come in and bail them out.
Okay.
And all of the assessors are really in favor of this because it protects them from being pulled and thrown into that kind of a mess, which could happen if we didn't have a designated assessor. Any other questions? That's a long document. It's complicated. I had to ask a lot of questions with our assessor and Jolene to try to work out all the questions on that one. The resolution number 948, establishing rules for remote meetings. This came out of the legislation that was passed that allows us to have online meetings, web meetings, and it only goes through December 31st. I don't know what's going to happen after that. Personally, I think COVID is still going to be a factor after December 31st. We will be forced to go back to live meetings. If we do, we will have to space out. We do have some solutions that are viable. We will do. I'm looking at ways of doing a live webcast, even when we do a live meeting. I think it's perfectly doable. We need a couple more microphones and we need a couple more microphone cords, but we have most of the equipment we have to hold a live meeting with just 8 people or possibly 2 more if we had a guest at the meeting, but not more than 10, and then broadcast that meeting live is what we'll probably have to go to after December 31st, when this online meeting provision expires. But we have to have a policy in place to show how we conduct our meetings, that we are reaching out and giving the public a chance to call into our meeting and give input. They just want a procedure written, and that's what this does. It doesn't have to be very detailed. It just needs to show how you're going to do it. It is subject to change if we find out something's not working, but we have to start with something, and that's what we're required to do. And it has to be passed at a public meeting. The budget amendments are for the shop with a cop. We had money that carried over, so we need to put it back into the budget and show it that money is donated for that, and to keep our budget in line and show that we're not going over budget or we're not having extra. We just need to do that formality of transferring it over to the line. And when we did the new chief's salary, we didn't include it in the budget. The money is there in the budget, but we didn't formally put it on the line where we should have. So we're doing a little housekeeping there. The power plan grant resolution, we have to show our support for going after that grant as a council to be eligible for the grant. If I think John Zarb is on, if he has anything to share on that.
I'm here, Jim. Would you like for me to do that?
Sure, that'd be great, John. Can you do that?
Yep. Jolene had passed on to me a grant possibility that is offered through the Michigan insurance carrier that I think has the contract with Monroe County, which includes us. And they have a foundation that issues grants, and Jolene had success with that with tasers in Erie. And we actually got some tasers through this grant several years ago. So I looked into it, and it looks like it is the perfect place for us to try to acquire 4 body cameras that are current technology, and they'll replace the existing ones that we have that the officers will wear and use to protect not only them, the city, but also the people who are having discussions with the officers. And as Jim just said, this particular grant, unlike any I've worked with, requires a formal resolution in a very specific textual structure, which I passed on to Jolene. And we're just looking to get this, it will be in the neighborhood of about $3,500. There is no match for body cameras. So this is really good news. Almost all the other categories they serve do have matches that is generally around 50%. So this, and you never want to, be too confident, but it sounds like we would be able to get this pretty easily, and it would come to us in the January, February timeframe. And just a footnote, if you don't mind, I just want to try to keep sort of some transparency on what's going on with grants, because in 2018 we had one, and then in 2019 we had a few more, and this year 2020 we've really had a lot going on. And I've been working as much now with Brett as I've been working with the fire department. Just so you, the council, knows, during these 2.5, almost 3 years now, we have submitted $383,000 in grants requests. And as of today, we have about 200,000 approved, which is 52% of what we've requested. So our hit rate is pretty good. And at the moment, we have $20,000 of pending, waiting for approvals, grants with Michigan State Police, with FEMA, and with Lazy Boy. So lots happening in this area in 2020.
Great. Thank you, John.
Great work.
Just great work. These are things that we really need. These body cameras, ours are in terrible shape. It's just digital technology rolls on, and our equipment's old. And a few years in digital technology is a lifetime. We really need to replace that. It's vitally important to have working body cameras if you're going to have them at all, because you open yourself up to all kinds of accusations. If a body camera fails, an incident happens, then you don't have anything to prove your side of the story, because there will be video of that incident from somebody, and you want to have your own version of it that's not edited. So thank you, John, for that work. That is a really important grant.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Well, you're all very welcome. Thank you.
At this time, we'll open it up to community input. That gives us some time to fill in for the broadcast delay. It's about 40 seconds or so. If you have comments, you can call City Hall 734-848-6495. Now, as part of the Open Meetings Act, you do not need to identify who you are. You don't have to give a name to give public input. That's at any public meeting. Comments are allowed anonymously if somebody stands up there and does not want to tell their name. However, you have to attend the meeting to do that. So what we're asking is that you identify, again, if you're calling from this area, that you would let us know that you are in the area, and that prevents a case that's different than a live meeting, in-person meeting, where somebody could attend remotely. It wouldn't be possible in a walk-in meeting. So the legislation wants to limit that in an online meeting also. So we don't ask you to give us your name. You can if you want. It is optional, but it's not mandatory. But we would like to hear where you're calling from, if you would do that. Joey?
Jim?
Yep.
I do have somebody on the line. I'm going to put him on speaker. He'd like to talk that
Sure.
way.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So it must be the delay.
Right.
We'll probably get an echo or a repeat.
Yeah, you might want to turn your computer down.
Hi, ma'am. Dave Davis. I'm calling representing the Unfair Business Association at this time. As you know, with COVID, and I've spoken to the mayor about this reference to Veterans Day Parade. Your computer down. Are you talking to me, Joni?
I can hear him fine.
Okay.
Yep,
Can you
we can hear.
All right. With the COVID and stuff, I spoke to the mayor. We decided that we would not have a Veterans Day parade this year. However, what we are going to do on November 7th, John Barber, I don't know if everybody on council was familiar with John. He was a Vietnam veteran. He lived in Allen's Cove. Family's been out here for 80 years, living down in that area there. John died, and he was an avid supporter of the Ramsey Memorial Library here in town. So the Unfair Business Association, along with John's family and fiance, erected a flagpole at the library, and also his fiance at the time and family purchased a marker to go right at the flagpole. So on November 7th, we're going to have that dedication for the dedication of the flagpole and the marker for John Barber. Again, due to COVID, we're limiting it to 20, 25 people at the most. But what I'm doing tonight is inviting council to it, to the ceremony. And it is, like I said, November 7th at 12 p.m. at the library. That's what I have. So I don't know if any questions on it at all.
Can you state the time again?
Time is going to be 12 noon.
Thank you. We want to honor our veterans. I know, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn. Can
you say the time again?
It's 12 noon on November 7th.
12 noon.
And they didn't want a huge crowd there, so they wanted.
We want to honor our veterans.
Honored guests.
I don't think I'm speaking out of turn.
Now we're getting feedback, so we'll
Yeah, we're
have
getting
to.
his feedback.
Yeah. So we'll have to. We might have to cut off the phone call at this point.
I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but it's 12 noon.
Yeah, it's at 12 noon.
12 noon, and council is invited to that. Widespread public participation is discouraged, and that is at request of the family and the Unfair Business Association, who is putting it on. We had some talks about that, and that's their request, and I agree with their request, and I want to emphasize that even though it's outside, we still have to distance, and we turned down some offers for other groups to come in because it would be too many people. So we hope you'll honor that.
It
Dave
is a
wanted
pretty
to know
nice
if-
flagpole.
Yeah.
Dave wanted to know if anybody had any questions for him.
Any questions?
No.
Tell them thank you very much, and we really appreciate, all the work they put into it. The Barber family and others around that really pooled their efforts, they pooled their money, they opened their wallets, and they paid for this. And we thank them, and we thank the veterans for their service too. And this is a great way to honor them. We certainly are blessed.
Thanks, Dave.
At this time, we'll try a little more water. We can talk about the walleye fishing that's starting to heat up on the pier. I don't actually think the walleye have come in hot and heavy yet, but perch are there. We're hearing some good reports. Any more activity, Jolene?
You're muted, Jolene.
Nope, we don't, nothing, nobody's else called.
Okay. I'll still give a couple more minutes here before we move on to council action, just because we really do want to hear people's input. We don't want anybody to miss an opportunity. We are open at City Hall, our phone lines anyway, and you can call and ask questions. We really like community input, good or bad. We got tough skin. We can take it. We sometimes
Jim?
things have to get better. Yes, is it John?
This is John Zarb. I wonder if I could ask a question as a public, on the public
Sure.
forum.
Absolutely.
We noticed that there's been some improvements at both the strip mall in terms of their new parking lot and also in the area east of the post office in what used to be Andy's place. Is it possible to share what business or businesses may be going in? Or is there any clarity to that yet?
Yes, actually, Joe Bazinski is the one who is doing all the work there, putting in the money to both of those businesses. They're both owned by the same person. He has them almost full, actually. We don't like to call it a strip mall. We call it the Pier Plaza. There is no strip involved in any of that. Just to clear up any kind of talk or any kind of rumors there. There's the dog groomer is in there. There's a new, it's like a health drink bar going in there. I'm not sure exactly how you call that, but it's like they sell health shakes and everything, and it's going to be operated by a local resident. That's opening up there in the next few days, actually. There are plans to put a restaurant in there. We don't have anything solid yet. That's coming in, but yes, he is adding to the tenants. As you see, there's work down in the downtown building with new windows all the way, showcase type windows across the front of it that look really nice. He has some business clients that he's negotiating with there to move into there also, putting money into those buildings, making them look a lot better. We had an owner, out of town owner before, that just kind of let it go. Big improvements there. I will reach out to Danny again at the Pier Inn, doing a great job there, keeping that cleaned up. You see some new lights going up there. The poles are up now. The lights will come in pretty soon. There will be an extra street light at Evans Drive there and Luna Pier Road. We're waiting on consumers to bring in the power upgrade. When they do that, they will install a light at that time for that and light that up better, and that'll help Danny. It'll help people find his business there. So things are looking up with businesses, especially when you look back. And I really want to thank the business owners who really have stepped up and put their own money into this, significant amounts of money into these businesses and making them viable where they were a problem just a few years ago. We weren't sure what was going to happen there. So the Pier Plaza is looking great. If you haven't noticed, the work is continuing.
Mayor,
Yes.
the nutrition is, it's Kelly Harper Allen.
Oh, okay.
And-
Thank you.
And it's Herbalife Nutrition is what's going to be in there.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't have all of the details. I knew kind of who it was. I know who her father is.
Yeah.
I didn't have all the details beyond there. I know she's pretty excited about opening
Yeah.
up. in
She's
there.
been working at it for a long time.
Good, good. And it's good to see some things going on there. Murphy's Lighthouse is still operating there. That's one of the other ones, and the beef jerky place, of course, beef jerky outlet. Well, I think we gave enough time for public comment. If we satisfy your answer, John, I hope. And I think this time we will.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, John, for bringing that question to us. We'll move on to council action, the health insurance for Luna Pier employees renewal. We talked about that. We have a choice of the current plan or the alternate plans there listed. Do I have a motion to approve one of these plans?
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion that we approve the health care for the Luna Pier employees going with Paramount of Michigan, PPO Michigan. And it's the current.
Okay. Do you want to add the price there just to?
For $81,787.08.
Thank you very much. We have a motion. Do we have support?
Or
I heard a support. Is that Councilman Wakeman? Any discussion? We'll do a roll call vote. This time you do not need to say where you're voting from.
Wakeman,
yes.
Gramza,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you very much. The Decker proposal for insurance coverage. Do I have a motion?
I will propose a motion to approve the Decker Insurance proposal for coverage for Luna Pier in the amount of $28,578 as presented, waiving the reading.
Thank you,
I
Councilman.
support.
And we have Councilman Gramza support of Councilman Anstett's proposal. Any discussion on that? We'll move to a roll call vote, please.
Gramza,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Mayor's defined benefit agreement addendum for treatment plant, general and treatment plan and police. Do I have a motion?
I will propose, go ahead, Neil, you're on.
I'll make a motion to approve the mayor's defined benefit adoption agreement, the mayor's defined benefit plan adoption agreement addendum for general treatment plan and police as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
Thank you. We have a motion, we have support. Do you have those, Jolene?
Yes, I do.
Any discussion on that? That will go to a roll call vote.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Gramza,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried. Thank you very much. The Monroe County Designated Assessor Interlocal Agent or Agreement.
I propose a motion to approve the Monroe County Designated Assessor Interlocal Agreement, PA 660 of 2018, as presented and waiving the reading.
Support.
Okay, we have a proposal by Councilman Wakeman, supported by Councilwoman Gramza. Any discussion? We'll do a roll call on that.
Meadows,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Gramza,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. Resolution number 948, establishing the rules for remote attendance at public meetings. You want, go ahead.
I'll make the motion. We approve resolution 948, establishing rules for remote attendance at public meetings as presented, waiving the reading.
Support.
We have
Mike
support.
can have that one.
Anstett,
I was gonna say, I'm fighting.
proposal by Councilwoman Gramza and Mike Anstett on the support. Any discussion? If not, we will go to a roll call vote.
Anstett,
Yes.
Wakeman,
I'm sorry, I did think of something, if I may, at this point. Yeah, there was a clause in there about not having to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Is that an optional thing, or is that going to be an actual requirement as part of this, the rule?
I think it's an optional thing.
It wasn't clear.
Yeah, yes, I question that. I mean, really, it is optional, although we always do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I was just wondering if we were going to be denied doing that.
No.
Then yes.
Yeah.
Support.
Gramza,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. You better believe we're gonna do that. Budget amendment, police salary, shop with a cop. Do I have a proposal?
I'll propose a motion to approve the budget amendment for the police department as presented and waive the reading.
Support.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Wakeman and I think support by Mike Anstett.
Neil.
Or is it Neil?
Neil.
Okay, sorry.
Wait a minute. Who, Neil made made the motion and who?
I don't know who
I
supported.
think it was the first one.
Neil made the motion.
Right. And who supported?
I think it was Mike who hit the trigger first, hit the buzzer first.
Okay.
I did? Okay.
Yeah.
Never opened my mouth. I'm a ventriloquist, but I'll take credit for it.
Well, I
Oh,
would say
I did.
I did too, but there were two people, so I thought it was
Yeah.
Stacy.
It was
Was it
me.
Stacy? Oh, was it?
There you go.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
The
it was
light-
Stacy.
So it
both
was
you-
Stacy.
Okay,
It was
Stacy.
Stacy.
The green lit up on Stacy and Mike there, and it flashed down, so I had trouble telling which one. So good. Councilman Grimes supports that one. Any discussion?
Yes. Do we have to do roll call on the ones that, I thought we didn't have to do roll call on the ones that didn't have a dollar amount?
I think on a resolution we do. Is that correct, Jolene?
I think some of them call for the vote and how they voted in some of the resolutions. So that's why you need it. It doesn't necessarily pertain to money, but in the resolution, it says who voted yes and who voted no.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? If not, we will go to a roll call on this one because it does involve the budget.
Grimes,
Yes.
Meadows,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Gramsa,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Motion carried. And now the last one, the resolution of the PAR plan grant.
I will gladly propose a motion to approve resolution number 950 PAR Plan Grant and waive the reading.
Support.
We have a support. Any discussion? We will do a roll call on this one because eventually it does involve money.
Right. Meadows,
Yes.
Wakeman,
Yes.
Gramsa,
Yes.
Anstett,
Yes.
Grimes,
Yes.
Mayor Gardner.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carried. And I think that is all of the business we have to do tonight. It was a long list tonight. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and diligence in getting through this. Do we have any council input or information that hasn't been shared yet?
Jim, I just have a question. This is Stacy.
Yes.
The other day, when I was going to one of my doctor's appointments, I drove down through town, and I saw both police cruisers, the new ones, sitting out in front. Do we have double duty where we have two police officers on duty at one time now, or what?
It is possible because one of them will be working the grant, which is the Stone Garden grant that we get through the Department of Homeland Security. And that person can be financed by that grant money.
Okay.
While we have an officer attending business in Luna Pier. And that what it does is it's a requirement of the grant that they pay for, and it gives us more coverage. It gives us actually extended coverage because their hours are staggered, so that they do cover longer times.
Okay.
With that grant.
But
Great question.
when they're doing the grant, they can only do grant work.
Yes. Now
Yes.
there is overlap because grant work can be involved in the city. Anything to do with the shoreline, patrolling the beach is grant work.
Traffic.
It can be going to Erie Road. They like to take a look at Erie Road. There are certain duties that they like to see that we report back. The chief has all the information on that of
Right.
all the details, but there are some stipulations in that to where they will go to Erie Road. They're required. They want to cover. They're really good about covering the shoreline, which is why they actually encourage us to take that grant because of our location. They really like having us watching the shoreline, any activity of anything coming in from Canada.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? If not, we'll go to, we don't have any correspondence, general information. The future meeting dates will be canceled if they don't meet the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services restrictions. We really can't, we're really still limited to 10 when you look. I did open it up for bigger spaces, but we don't have spaces big enough to handle a crowd bigger than that. Online meetings will resume at least through December 31st. We'll see what happens after that. We really like everyone to follow the safety protocols. Parks and Recreation is scheduled for Tuesday, November 10th. That might be different than what was on the original agenda.
Jim?
Yes.
I've been asked to serve on the Parks and Recreation as the council representative. I don't think we have one right now, or I don't think they have one. Is it necessary for me to send in my request to be council rep on that, or can we vote on that at the next meeting?
I'll have to look into it because it's usually an appointment that is drawn up by the mayor historically. I'm not sure if it takes a council vote or it's just an appointment.
Okay,
And I'm all for it. I'm very much in support of it.
all right. Do I need to send in a letter?
No, I'll do the work. I will gladly appoint you and send
Okay,
something out and ask you, of course, but knowing that you're willing to do it.
okay,
But I'll take the action. I think we're good with that.
all right.
You don't need a vote for council. That is an appointment from the mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman Gramza. It's what I thought, and I will definitely follow up on that. I appreciate you stepping up to that position.
Okay, thank you.
The FEP meeting Tuesday, November 17th at Water Tower Park. DDA is still to be determined. Planning is scheduled for Tuesday, November 24th. City Council Thursday, November 12th, and it will be a Zoom meeting. And then Thanksgiving, remember, is Thursday, November 26th, which we may have a council meeting scheduled for that day. I have to look at my
We
calendar.
usually do.
It usually works out that way, and who knows, maybe this year, since we can't have family over, but I don't plan on doing that, just to
I make a motion to not have,
yeah, we can cancel it. We still have to keep it on the schedule, but we can cancel it. But we will have to make sure we get everything covered next meeting. With that, I think that's all the business we have to take care of.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion.
Support.
We have support from Councilman Meadows. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Opposed? I didn't think so. Thank you, everyone. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, all.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Right.
Thank
Night.
you. Good meeting.
Great meeting.